Welcome to my Facebook Live. How's everybody doing today? I have really been pondering, is 2020 going to be known, or really, what's 2020 going to be known for? I just keep thinking 2020 is going to be known as a time of great awakening, great transformation, because it just seems like the whole world, or at least here in the States, everybody's angry. Everybody's being mean to one another. I mean, I don't care what you think about politics. I say that about all the time. But you know, AOC gets up yesterday, and again, this isn't political, folks. Gets up and accuses a male representative of saying mean things to him. He doesn't deny it, but he does. And his boss says that's all good. That just creates anger. You know, the Black Lives Matter movement, long overdue, is showing sides of us, of people that people don't want to see. COVID is, to me, laying bare for everything, for everybody to see what's going on with themselves. I mean, how are you viewing these times? Are you paralyzed with fear? Are you giving the world the middle finger and doing what you please? Because everybody's personality is different, and how everybody is dealing with this is so different. But I mean, I haven't seen unrest like this since 1968. Now keep in mind, in 1968, I think I was 9, 10 years old. So I just remember watching the rioting and thinking, wow. And I remember arguing with my father at the dinner table over Kent State and how they could call in the National Guard and give them guns and allow them to fire. And now we see the same thing with, federal troops going into our cities. It just seems like the world, and the world really wants to transform. And are people going to take this as a transformative moment, or is this a moment in time? Is this going to be the time of a great awakening, or just a bad year? I mean, I choose to make it for myself great awakening. I have had so many epiphanies over the past couple months because we've been self-isolating, so I've been spending a lot of time home alone. Even when I'm at the office, like today, I'm at the office alone. So it gives me a lot of time to think. Now, I've always been that type of person that can get caught in her head, but I really think I've worked through a lot of that. And now I'm kind of looking at, my world views, how I view the world, and what are my opinions, and what are, beliefs from other people. Do I like how I present myself? Do I like my business? I think in 5 to 10 years, we'll look back at this as a time of great tragedy and great sadness. I may not need it to happen, but had to happen. And possibly a time of great change. I see so many people that own businesses shifting their business model, shifting, how they're doing business, because everything's going online. And either you like online or you don't. If you do, I mean, I love online. I did my very first YouTube video live today because I love videos and I love the online closeness of things. I like, talking with people and conversing with them. Although when I'm in the Facebook creator, and I might have to not use it because I can't see what people are commenting. So I don't like that. Huh. So I'll have to work through that. But I kind of like to know what your worldview of this is. Do you feel this is a time of great awakening? Do you feel like things are shifting within you? I mean, I've read people, I've followed people that have lost 20 pounds, and I have friends that have gained 30 pounds. I know, like I said, people that are making major changes. And I know people that are really sad and very negative through this. And I know people that are very positive, and, it is what it is. But life always reveals to you who you are at your core. Life will always show you what you need to learn. And I just went through and this is a weird experience, that we just got a puppy. Not myself. My daughter got a puppy. I said no more puppies, but we got one. And the puppy bit me. You really can't tell anymore. But at one point, I had like 8 bite marks on my arm, my hand, bit through my fingernail. Who knew a dog could do that? I had no idea. Like, why is the dog only biting me? And I was so angry, and I was so mad at my husband. It's like, why is the dog only biting me? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe it's the the watch you wear. It's whatever. But I sat down with it and I sat with it, and to me it was a metaphor. It was a metaphor for you get what you allow. If you allow the dog to bite you once, the dog's going to keep biting you. And the minute you tell the dog knock it off, the dog will knock it off. So if you let people take advantage of you, if you let people walk over you, if you let people diminish how you feel, then it continues to happen. And I've always kind of, and although I probably shouldn't admit it on Facebook, but I've always kind of, because of being a victim in childhood, I always have kind of run that victim mentality. But I've thought, I solved it. But I still run no more because, man, I killed this puppy in a hurry. First of all, the dog doesn't bite me anymore. But, help. I need help. Who's going to help me with my website? Who's going to help me with this? And I've hired a lot of coaches who, to help me. And I'm going to tell you, not a lot of coaches out there want to help you. What a lot of coaches want to do is maintain a codependent relationship with you so they can maximize their dollars. And I say that globally. I've talked to a lot of people. I didn't necessarily have that done to me, but I've talked to a lot of people. But I finally sat down about 6 months ago and said, I got to figure this out myself. I've got to figure out how to help myself. I've got to stop being a victim. Although I'm a CEO of a company, that is a title. Now, I can either choose to be that person or not. And Janet says, hey, sis, you're so right so far, but I think we have a lot more suffering to go through. Sadly, I don't think we come out of this till next spring. So I think you're right. I think there's a lot more that we have to look at through this process. But it's okay to admit to yourself. I mean, I put everything out there. I'm an open book. If I tell people I'm a victim, okay. When I told people I had a really bad 2019 because I realized I was allowing people to victimize me. I was almost inviting people to victimize me. I was inviting people to roll over me. And now it's like, no. Now it's, it's my way or the highway. And, and I know that sounds strict, but it's either you treat me the way I want to be treated or you don't. You're out. It's like, puppy, you bite me one more time, you're gone. You're going to go live with another house, another family, you're gone because I'm not accepting that. And sometimes to me, the bite marks were reminders that maybe I was slipping a little bit. Maybe through this COVID, I was kind of slipping, my lines of defense, my lines of, yes, I accept this, no, I won't accept that. So you always have to look at the signs from the universe because they're out there. And if you ignore them, I mean, if I would have ignored the bite marks, if I wouldn't have thought, why is the dog only biting me? It would have been something bigger and then bigger. Because you always have to stand in your power, but you have to be aware that even if you're no longer a victim, even if you no longer allow people to walk over you, even if you no longer allow whatever type of behavior, it's sometimes easy to slip back into it because this behavior comes from childhood. This behavior comes from many years of practicing. This behavior is a place of comfort. And it's weird, but it's a place of, I recognize this place. I recognize being a victim. I understand being a victim. And then I have to say, well, but I'm not a victim and I'm not staying there. But I see people slip back because it's comfort. And right now, everybody's seeking comfort. That's why you see people gaining weight. That's why you see people losing weight. That's why you see people blossoming and people not blossoming. Everybody's adjusting differently. We're doing a major conference. I've had people say I'm not going to speak because I don't like the virtual format. Virtual's here, baby. Virtual's never going to go away. It is here. It is in our schools. It's everywhere. Now, I'm not saying schools are going to go away, but virtual is here. We're always going to want that contact, of conferences. When you have 500 people, like typically we have 500-600 people in a room for 3 days. It's a blast. But there are times when virtual will be great because I have this great speaker who lives in Pennsylvania that will jump on and do an hour of training that we couldn't afford to fly her out here, but we can afford free to get on. So, I mean, as the earth shifts underneath you, look at how your world is shifting and think what's going to stay and what's going to go. To you, the dog will be staying. Although it's not mine, it's my daughter, so it doesn't live at the house. But when the dog comes over, she knows, don't mess with me. take your power back. Understand that these are trying times. Understand that 2020 sucks, but it's how you view it. View it through your lens of Fox News or CNN News or, any news. Don't view it through what your family and your friends are telling you. Back in the day when I went through Kent State, I viewed Kent State as I viewed it, from the lens of a 10 or 11-year-old. And I'm still appalled that it was allowed to happen. And that is probably why I am in politics like I am, why I, kind of come and go in the political field. Because of some of the stuff I see, I'm appalled by it, and I understand the power of our voice. Your voice has power, either as a group or to yourself. Stand up and be the SHERO of your life. Understand what you're going through and see what the message is. So I hope this helped. This is kind of a deep topic on Fridays, but I just keep paying attention to COVID, and I keep watching people. I love to watch people. I love to understand why people do what they do, why they say what they do. People fascinate me. So anyway, I hope this helped you guys in some way. If you have any questions, let me know. Put comments below. Janet, you have a great weekend. I'm hitting the nail on the head. Thank you so much. It's always nice to know that, people are paying attention and they like what I put out. Stay safe, mask up. We're going to get through this. No doubt about it. We're absolutely going to get through this. So have a good day. Have a great weekend. Get rest. Meditate. Love yourself. Find your blue rose. Thanks, guys.